Hi everybody, my name is Alan Quant. I'm from thedigitalcraft.com and the Digital Craft radio show on Spreaker, as well as a bunch of tutorials and things like that on YouTube. Today I wanted to talk about using Skype and Spreaker together so you can take calls. We've had a lot of issues trying to work this out, especially using the same PC to do it, and really to no avail. You know, we've tried using the stereo mix and all that, and we end up getting a lot of delay, which is really annoying to do when trying to talk and listen and hear yourself, and it's a mess. So what we did is we've set up an iPad, and we're running the iPad, we're running a Skype on the iPad, and just running out into a mixer, and then back into our audio interface, which I have a diagram here in a Google Doc that kind of shows our setup here. We're using this PV mixer. One of our other hosts on another show, Live Speak with Justin the Geek, he's using that Yamaha mixer that Spreaker just promoted. So his setup's a little bit different, and he's using a laptop instead of an iPad. But essentially the concept's the same, and with the iPad you don't have to have a whole other PC running just to run Skype, and the iPad works pretty well. So you can see here we're running a cable out of the iPad into the mixer, into the stereo channel, which on this mixer is 3.4, and then we're running out using RCA cable to a mono quarter-inch cable, which goes into one of the channels on the, in this case our audio interface is the Focusrite Scarlett 2.2, and so it's a fairly simple setup. Depending on your mixer, you can do it even easier. With this, I have a couple of adapters I'm using to make all the connections work, but it works really well. We did a kind of a pseudo behind the scenes video of our last show, and you can kind of see it working. You can see Justin, my co-host, on the iPad, or at least you can see Skype open with his picture on it. You know, he's talking to me, and what happens is we use naturally, it just kind of happens, we don't have to change any settings. The mic on the iPad picks me up so that the radio show is picking up this mic. My co-host or caller can hear me to the right of me on the iPad's mic, which I have mounted here on a drum stand. That's not really required, but it kind of keeps things up and out and near my mouth so that the caller can hear me. So that's just sitting here. Excuse the clutter, but cables are cables. So we've got the mixer, and ignore these other inputs here, these XLRs. These are room mics picking me up right now, since I'm not talking directly into my condenser mic. But this is the channel we're looking at here. We have, which some of this may be a little excessive. You can probably go to like Radio Shack or whatever your local nerd shop is and pick up something that might have all of this combined. But what we've done here is I have this quarter-inch split here, so it splits a stereo signal into two, so we can run into the stereo inputs here, right and left, or left and right, sorry. And then for this particular deal here, I've got a 1/8 inch to quarter-inch adapter, this gold thing. You've probably seen these a million times if you're an audio person. And that then runs into an 1/8 inch plug straight into the iPad there. So we're taking the audio out of the iPad, coming down, and right here, and then being converted into a quarter-inch cable, which then is split into stereo. And like I said, with that Yamaha mixer, you can do this way easier because it has RCA stereo inputs, and you just really need one cable that goes from 1/8 to RCA, and boom, you can skip all these crazy adapters. Like I said, you can probably even find a cable that does most of this for you. I just happen to have a box full of random adapters and stuff like that. So then we simply go around to the back of the mixer. Sorry for the shakiness, I'm using my webcam for this. And I'm running RCA out. Again, there's a couple different ways you can do this, probably with less adapters. So I've got RCA stereo coming out up into our audio interface, and what I've done is I've simply connected this, excuse my nasty nail, gotta love guitar. So we have this stereo split that's grabbing these RCA cables, and it's going in, and what I actually have is a stereo to mono adapter for this RCA plug. And again, like, all this is a little excessive, and only because I have all these random pieces and parts. A lot of this you can probably find a cable that'll do it for you. But the point is that we run Skype on the iPad, and what I can do, I don't have a caller right now, but I'll just turn on some music, and this is going to play. It's like here in my headphones right now. And you can hear that through the mix, because since it's coming through my headphones, it means it's also coming through the audio interface, which means it's going through to your users. So pretend that music was a caller. So hopefully I haven't confused anybody by the clutter of cables and all that. But look at the diagram. It's pretty simple. You run out of the iPad into the mixer, and then out of the mixer into one of the channels on your audio interface. Of course, on mine, the second channel is my condenser mic that I use for the show itself that I'm talking into right now on the broadcast boom. You could actually bypass the mixer and just go straight from the iPad into the audio interface. You lose a little control. You really just have the little knob on the audio interface, or whatever. You may not even have a knob on there, so you're a little bit less flexibility there. Here we have the ability to change the highs and lows and pan and change the levels and such. It gives us a little bit more control over the caller. You never really know what kind of connection they've got, if it's going to be distorted or really compressed coming through. So the mixer helps, and definitely the mixer. Nothing against the mixer that I have here, but the mixer that my co-host got, who's in Washington, not here in Indiana, so I can't just grab his mixer and use it for this example. But that other mixer, that Yamaha mixer, would work really well, because you can just go from the iPad to RCA and then out into the mixer, or into the audio interface. So I threw this together really quick, so if anybody has any questions, let me know. Like I said, yeah, threw it together quick, but hopefully this helps. Take a look at our live show, or the behind the scenes that we did, and you can kind of see how we did it, or just see how easily it flows with the iPad sitting to the right of me, and I'm just talking into the mic. Caller can hear me on the iPad. The station or Spreaker picks up both the caller and me, and nothing gets all messed up, and there's no delays or anything like that. So I'm pretty sure you could interchange the iPad with any other tablet, iPhone, iPod, anything, or a laptop, anything that you can run the audio out, and then it has a mic that will pick up you, so the caller can actually hear you. They won't hear you as clear as your awesome studio microphone, but they'll hear you, and they'll hear you pretty well, as long as the iPad or the laptop or whatever is near you. Like I said, in our case, we have it mounted, so there's the studio mic, there's the iPad, and I'm right in the middle. So everything gets pretty even, or evenly distributed. So I'm going to stop yammering on. But again, Alan Quant, the Digital Craft Radio Show, thedigitalcraft.com. This is how you can make Spreaker work a little bit better for you. And good luck.